Welcome back, or welcome to We Care a Lot. I'm half the podcast, Mel.
And I'm the other half, Sam.
Hi.
Hello.
It's Wednesday again, or whenever you're listening.
Hopefully Wednesday.
Hopefully you're like an avid, like, I need to
get
they
my
posted
episode
today.
Yeah.
Let's get on it. Well, anyway, welcome back. Welcome to. If you are new here, again, we're Sam and Mel.
Hi.
Today we're getting back into like a topic that we've in the beginnings of our podcast was a very heavy topic, or not heavy topic, but like we talked about it quite often.
Yeah.
It's just like relationships and dating.
Why were we talking about that so much?
I don't fucking know.
Like, was it when I was single, or was
I think so.
in a relationship? Was it like fresh off a breakup type?
I think it was fresh off of one breakup. You got
And then
into another
one.
relationship, and then it's another breakup.
Go for that timeline. It's pretty fresh as we
fresh.
go through the process of breakups. So if you're going through one, it's happening in real time during those episodes. So take a listen.
But yeah, I think today we're more on the topic of like if you're getting back into dating. Hi.
Oh man, it's just
like
rough.
It's rough. We're gonna like at you a little, you know.
I think
give you like the tough love.
Yeah.
Little rundown.
And I think for maybe, I don't know if this is relevant to my current demographic, but if you fall in the same one of like being single for a couple years, being in your later 20s now, as I am, and just like trying to date and it not working, I feel like the question we begin asking ourselves is like, are my standards just like too high? Like, am I shooting for something that's not real? And like, should I quote unquote like settle type of energy? Like, what's the vibe here? Like, I'm at a loss. Are we doing too much? Are we doing too little? And it doesn't help. I mean, obviously I've never dated like in the 80s or like whatever during any other fucking era. So I'm biased in saying this, but I feel like this is the worst era of all to be dating.
Yeah.
Men. Specifically
men.
It's just dating apps ruined our culture, truthfully. And yeah, so hopefully we can like chat through some of the major issues that we find in the dating world and that you witness, Mel.
Yeah, I'm here as a witness to it all. Maybe as just like
not a witness. Legally.
Guilty. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, literally they are. They all are.
Just like the girl that's watching from afar and being like, ooh, you know.
It's rough.
It's rough. But also like maybe I can offer, and maybe you don't want my offer, but maybe I can offer a little like unbiased, but not from your perspective,
right?
Playing devil's advocate kind of vibe today, you know?
Okay.
Because I know the men are terrible. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Like first gut reaction.
Yeah.
I want to say our standards are not too high. It's just the people that we are currently meeting are not of quality. But also, dating apps have ruined a lot of the culture. Yeah. Like, no one wants to make an effort. No one wants to seem interested. Putting yourself out there is just, like, not a thing anymore.
It's funny because I feel like I encounter people on all spectrums of, like, sexuality. And I just feel like overall it's like there's a problem. So it's just like, it's not even just, I mean,
just men.
It probably is a big part of men. But like, I think like you said, it's definitely the environments that like have been created because of
the
apps and stuff. I just feel like people are getting like, they want such like instant gratification and like finding love from literally a swipe, which I find kind of like ridiculous. And maybe I'm just
Let's get into that. Let's start with apps maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like apps for me are like hard because it's like information overload, but not in a good way. Like when you meet someone random, you don't know literally anything about them. So on apps, it's like, I know what you look like. I know what you look like fucking snowboarding. I know what you look like fishing. Like, I know you in all these different visual... I mean...
Fair, though, but yeah.
Most of them. And, like, I know all your beliefs. And, like, it's so easy to write someone off on, like, a profile. And being like, oh... let's say they're religious, and that's all it says. It's like, oh, I don't want to be with a religious person. And it's so easy to be like, never mind.
Yeah.
But also, that person could have, like, a completely different definition of religious versus whatever you consider religious. Yeah, like, maybe they
actually explain their religiousness as, like, what you would consider spiritual. And you're just like, oh, okay. Well, then you just, like, missed out on somebody who you probably maybe connected with.
But then the problem is, like, even if you give all those people... quote unquote, give those people a chance.
Yeah.
It's so overwhelming. Because then if those people are also chatting with 10 other people, it's like, how do you balance even getting to know someone? Like, it's just like, things just have to align so perfectly on dating apps. Which almost like makes it more magical. Maybe for you people who are dating app people.
The probability there is just kind of insane where like you said, there's so many elements. And I also just feel like because you have such a large pool, you almost think that there's like, oh, well, this is like this guy's fine, but like I know I'll probably then swipe a few more and maybe there'll be a better one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like, I think there's also like a disconnect that these are like real fucking people.
Yeah, like if they were all in a room, you'd be like, wait, all these people like are like kind of into me?
It's like when you get that notification like 17 whatever new likes or whatever. And you're like, oh, okay. And then you go through them and you're like, fuck you. You're disgusting. Not actually, but like...
I mean, sometimes they are.
Like, why are you talking to me? Yeah. But then, like, in a room, you'd be like, oh, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And you would maybe at least give them an opportunity to say hello.
It's like the beauty is that it weeds out the really horrible people.
It really does.
And then the sad part is, like, you... And I really don't think anyone could genuinely probably miss their person.
Yeah.
Like, there's just no way. That's not fair.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I think it's making it harder, though.
It is making it harder. No one's
actually even connecting anymore on apps.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the last time I connected with somebody. I mean, I do, actually, because it's not that often. And it was a long time ago, so it's kind of like, not where I personally want to be in this dating world, and that's okay.
That's fair.
But that being said, with dating apps, you can see, like, the very superficial things. Like, I don't know, Love is Blind. New season just came out. But me personally, I have standards on height. And not that that's my only... Because, like, I don't know. What's really the definition of standard versus, like, preferences and, like, attraction? Like, you can't say that someone... Like, sometimes I find some discourse with people being like, well, like, he's okay. Like, he's kind of cute or whatever. Or, like, he's kind of short, but, like, not that short or whatever. Like, those are the conversations. Yeah. And I'm like, but if I don't find him attractive, like, what's the point?
What's the point?
Like, why am I going to force anything? But also, like, on the other side, like, being open to attraction, like, growing, I guess.
I guess, like, okay.
There's, like, that balance, you know?
So I think also there's, like, a large conversation about, like, negotiating.
Yeah.
And it's, like, why do you need to negotiate? And I think that, like, I don't know. I feel like it's very easy to tell someone to, like, well, like, just give it a shot. Or, like, maybe it'll grow. But I also think, like, if you don't really want... I don't know, it's hard.
Like, if your intent isn't positive, like, that kind of sucks for the other person.
Yeah.
Like, you're kind of like, you're ugly, but maybe.
But, like, maybe something will grow here.
Like, that kind of sad. Like, I would want someone to be enthusiastic. Like, oh my God, like, they're beautiful. I want to see if this is going to work out.
I think,
or, like, oh my God, they have a beautiful personality. Like, at something, right?
At something, yeah. Like, just, there's a level of some attraction there.
Yeah.
Okay, so then going back to the, like,
yes,
conversation about, like, physicalness.
Yeah.
I feel like, how is it that, like, maybe the problem is, like, how the approach is started, like if we're initially just like looking at looks, is that like your first basis versus like how they're speaking? I mean, of course, like on an app it's difficult.
I know,
but
like,
maybe
it's so different in person.
I'm talking about like maybe in person, like, because I feel like personally for me,
in person it's like that's the only thing you can go off of, low key. I mean, obviously until you talk to them, but like,
yeah,
you know, attraction is either like the way they're carrying themselves. It could be that. But also, to me, that's, like, bundled into the physical attraction of a person, because, like, that just makes them appear hotter to me. Like, the confidence, the way you carry, like, whatever. So, like, to me, they kind of are the same.
Yeah, it's just hard because you can't really, like...
I can't differentiate. Like, if you were to be a low-confidence person right now, would I think you're ugly? I don't know. Maybe. Know. And maybe that's why I'm with narcissistic men, because they carry themselves with confidence. They carry
themselves with charisma and confidence.
And then leaving it, I'm like, you are so ugly. Why did I like you?
Because confidence takes you very far. It really does.
It does. So
then
anyway.
The minute it slips into narcissism, you're like, then... wow, you are actually fugly.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to ask you. I think it's just like, okay, when people tell you, like, it's not that short. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I get where you're coming from, especially for you, because you're just like, I'm fucking tall. Like, I can't, that's truly I don't really want to do anything about that.
Physical, like
a hard
if someone says, oh, they're 5'8", I'm like, I don't even want to see what they look like. Like, even if I think they're a really hot 5'8" person, I'm like, that's just not for me.
Yeah.
Like, I love you, short kings. Oh my god, so sorry if you're, like, listening. I do love a lot of you. You guys are really handsome and, like, cool and all that. But I'm just like, for me, that's just not it.
Just, like, a long term, it's not gonna happen.
Even short term, potentially, I couldn't see it. Like, what are we doing?
Well, I'm just saying, like, for, a quick flirtatious, like, at a bar. Flirt. Like, okay, yeah, whatever.
That's fun.
But, like, you're not gonna take him home, or you're not gonna be like, let's make this something real, whatever.
Which is maybe, in a lot of people's opinions, they're like, oh my god.
Like, that's crazy.
Your standards are just so high.
I personally don't think that that's crazy.
Thank you. And, like,
I wouldn't date a shorter person either. Even as a woman, with liking women,
that's hard.
Logan was shorter than me. We were, like, the same height when we first met for some reason.
Somehow she grew,
like, 5 inches or something crazy. Not actually 5 inches. It was like 3.
Like, okay,
it was like
inches.
3.
Don't
but like
boost
don't boost
big.
go. But now she thinks she's Sam's height, so that's where we're at. Pretty close.
It's close. We'll give her that.
But I feel like even with women, I'm like, I don't know that I would like
that vibe.
I like feeling small.
Same. Sorry, God for freaking bid. Like
I can have like a very masculine energy to me, and like I can take charge in certain other areas.
And I don't want to feel that way.
But physicality, I don't know that I always like. I'll be big spoon. I'll be big spoon, but like I don't know.
Can we edit just an absolutely yoked version of Logan next to you? And that's the thumbnail. She's just looking huge. That would be so funny. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I agree. And like, for these people who are like, just D's, I'm unsure. It's like, why does it bug you? Like, it's not your life. Do you want me to be miserable next to a 5'4" king my whole life? No.
It's also just like, that's for some people. Some people really would be okay with that.
Yeah, some women have the personality where they're like, period, like, I'm gonna step on you type energy. That's fine.
You're like, I want to be little and cute.
And I'm like that in other places, okay? Right. I don't need to be that in my relationship.
I feel you. So, anyway.
End of episode.
Just period.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I don't think... I don't even know. I think just, like, what are other, like, things that you're, like...
that I could maybe give up on?
Yeah. And it's not giving up, it's just more so, like,
compromise.
Opening. Yeah. Or just opening yourself to, like...
Well, I feel like I'm pretty open in a lot of other ways. Like, the job, I'm not like, oh my god, they need to be a billionaire, or they need to, like...
6-figure income.
Own a business. I mean, that'd be great. I would love that.
Yeah, we support it much less, so...
We support it much less.
That's okay.
So, for me, career is, like, one of those things where I'm like, as long as you're, like, passionate and love what you do...
And can earn a living.
And can earn some sort of money, because I have expensive habits.
Also, life is hard.
And life is hard, yes. And I want children, so. So, like, there are things, like, I'm flexible. It's just, it needs to meet those standards of making money.
That's fine.
That'll, you know.
You're not negotiating.
No one's saying go date a deadbeat, you know? No one's saying that. So why do I have to date a short guy if I don't want to date a short guy? Just because he's so great.
It's also just, like, nature.
Poor short guys, dude.
Poor guys. They're just short to you.
Exactly.
See,
exactly.
Not to everyone. Exactly. But also, it's them 5'3"
5'3" foot.
5'3" bitches literally trying to date 6'4".
No, that's my
men.
problem.
It's just like, girl, please.
And like, if that's what you want too, I get to judge. I'm like, that standard's too high.
Anyway, Sam's the only person out here who could actually tell you a little bit.
But it's also like, I mean, there's like tall men who only want to date short women. Like, that's also like, I don't know. It's just like people's preference and
the matches will be made.
Yeah,
it's
matches
fine.
will be made.
That's just not your match.
That's not my match.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, but back to the, like, what are some things that you could, like, okay, maybe it's just like it's like not like crazy, but just like in an ideal world he would have fucking freckles, and like, you know, you're not like
freckles.
if he doesn't have freckles and you meet him out in life, right?
It's not even something that I even clock the first time I meet somebody, so it just was cute. I'm like, that's a cute idea. Like, if my man has freckles and then our kids have freckles, like, that's a cute idea.
Yeah. Oh, I'll put up my drawing of maybe that'll be like the cover for this dream man that I drew, and the AI version.
Ooh, the AI.
He looks like a Disney character.
Yeah, I mean, they all kind of did, but it was good. Anyway, yeah, I feel like in most ways I'm pretty flexible. Like, the only thing that I'm like, no, absolutely don't even want to discuss is height.
Yeah.
And then the rest I'm kind of like, I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, my preference isn't a super muscular dude. Have I gone on dates with super muscular men? Yeah.
Would you be, like, open to, like, dating someone who's, like, not quite your aesthetic?
Depends on the aesthetic.
Like, he's, like, really, like, punk.
I don't know that he'd like me.
Or,
you know
like,
what I mean?
grungy. No, I mean, maybe.
You know, it's like, not that I wouldn't.
Or,
it's
like,
just, do we have anything in common?
Heavy, like, he's, like, super into rap. Like, like, he dresses,
Been
like... Yeah, I can't. Yeah. She did it, so.
I've been there, you guys. Like, I don't know what to say. See, and that's the thing is, like, I dated, in my opinion, down from my current level of, which, like, not to say I was great back then either, you know.
I would say one of them, just by nature of, like, what's in my vicinity, so it's okay.
Right. The
other one.
Also, like, give me some slack. It was COVID.
But also, the pool was little. We weren't going out very much.
Exactly. See, like, there was reasons why they worked out the way they did. But what I'm saying is, like, this just became about me and not about standards in general. But, like, hopefully you guys can relate to this. It's just, like, I dated down. And so now that I am more mature, I know what I want. I know what I fucking want. So, like, I'm not gonna just sit around and be like, well... like, maybe he will like me and all, like, I don't know, it's just, but then there's also the line of, like, give it a shot, just so much.
Yeah. I think, like, standards are okay when you have, like, I don't know, like, some, like, physical things happening, like Sam's height.
Yeah.
I also just feel, like in me asking the aesthetic question, I'm just like, are you missing connections with people who maybe, like, just... express themselves a certain way that maybe you're not, like, immediately like,
wait,
oh my god, that is fucking fabulous. What
were the type of, like, hipster men at that bar we went to in Silver Lake?
Oh my god,
what font would you call that? Because that's a different font than any font I've ever dated, and I was into it. And, like, it was,
I was into it.
It was a cute. It's like creative.
It's like a creative, like, Silver Lake type,
right?
Like,
just like a little,
like, he's either like a cool techie guy, or like he's like a video editor,
right?
You know what I mean?
But where's Carhartt and hats all the time?
It's like he's going for the carpenter look, but he's straight up on a
he's
computer.
Going blue collar,
but he's on a computer at home. You know,
I kind of love that vibe. See what I'm saying? And, like, I've never dated that, but I was like, okay.
That's so interesting that's, like, was not on your radar, but, like, that is all I've ever seen you with is, like, this type
but
of
I've
man.
never dated, like, where?
That bar.
Where the
1800,
fuck?
Wasn't that bar called?
I don't remember the name of it, but we gotta go back, apparently. But I think, yes, some people potentially are looking at people, I mean, especially on apps, and being like, oh, that's
Yeah.
not my vibe. Or even if they're
listen,
super outdoorsy vibe, I will swipe away because I'm like, oh,
You're
I'm
like-
not outdoorsy like that. You know what I mean? But maybe they're not
You said,
either.
babe, I'm not gonna camp with you every weekend.
No, I'm like, I'm not going on hikes.
No,
I'm not free climbing.
That's fucking fair. No, because that's fucking fair.
See, so like,
but you know who I think like then Katie would swipe yes on someone like that.
oh, she would. That would be like super
and like
aligned.
that's in line. So I get what you're saying. But also, like, are you missing a connection there? You don't have to. Like,
Could.
maybe he already has friends that he goes hiking with every other weekend. You don't have to be there.
No, totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like
Maybe
because
he
made
goes
that,
to emo night every other month,
yeah,
and you don't have to be there.
no.
Even though that would be
I
fun.
mean, I would go like everyone.
But see what I'm saying? Like, maybe we're like not extending ourselves into other regions of pools.
See, but then I feel like since I'm not on apps, it's like the only way you can meet people now is obviously by going out into the world. Oh God, scary.
Yeah.
Or like friends of friends meeting or whatever
Yeah.
at a party, some like whatever intimate connection.
Right.
And even when you do that, it's like the culture is already so fucked. We're not even talking to each other. Like we're so scared. For example, we had this party. I won't disclose too much. We had this little party, and some guy was supposed to come and meet me. Like, I don't know what information he knew, but I found out day of, night before, oh, this guy's...
Like, who?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you're clicking. And I don't know if he knew he was going to meet someone or not.
He didn't.
Okay, he didn't know, but...
Like, I know the details.
Okay, she knows that he didn't know. So he was going to come, and it was going to be like, oh, maybe, like, they'd like each other. And then he didn't show up to the party. Like, he just didn't come. And I'm like, see, like, we're missing opportunities because people just aren't going to things.
Yeah.
It's
like he
that
could have been the
simple.
love of your life, and you
He
just
could
didn't
have.
meet him.
But then you said he was ugly, so it's all good.
Yeah. He's not ugly. He's just like...
Not my type. Let's put it that way. Not
The
my
thing
type.
is like, attraction could grow.
See, I don't like that.
He's tall. He's not ugly. It's just like... I don't know. I don't know that like thick facial hair
Ooh,
is
yeah,
like your
not
vibe
my-
or anything.
Not my thing.
But I feel like if he was really funny and like you enjoyed talking to him, I feel like you would then be attracted to him because he's tall and like has a job and like nice and like funny.
You see, like, where my standards are? Like, that's what we're working with.
That's
and
not-
somehow...
But that's not bad.
No, they're not. Exactly, though. That's my thing. It's like...
But I'm saying like see how I was like I was fluid. I was a little bit fluid. Like
Open
we
to the
still
idea.
met. He
Right.
was funny. It could have been funny. It could have been fun.
It could have, but see, he didn't come.
But he didn't come. So that's like the
So
problem.
it's like, that's
Yeah.
the problem. Is like, even if he did come, would he have spoken to me?
Yeah.
Like, it's just...
Okay, and then a part of this conversation is like, are you just looking unapproachable?
I think I have that problem. But also, you see, this is actually my problem because out in public...
But also you don't want to look like, use me. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm stupid. No,
please break my heart.
Yeah, but that is why it is my problem, is because I look so unapproachable that the short men come up to me and think it's hot, and they're like, oh my God.
They have some courage.
They're like, oh my God, like, how tall are you? I'm like,
Why the I didn't even look your direction.
literally, and they love that. They fucking
They
love
fucking
that.
love it.
And like, especially if I give them a like, why the fuck are you looking at me still? Like, you know, like you're dancing and you like look and they're looking and you're like, oh my fucking God, like what? They love it. And so that's part of
They
my
love being ignored. I don't
But
know
then-
why.
the sweetie pies that I think are in my actual dating pool that I want to be with are like scared of me because I look crazy. Not crazy, but mean, I guess. I don't think I look that
it's, like,
mean. I
kinda-
smile.
You're like this.
But then it's also like, I'm tired of the men being like, smile more. I was like, shut up.
No. It's not even, okay, maybe it's not like you need to smile. But
Yeah.
I think there's maybe like this conversation.
Like looking too clicky with your girls.
No, because that's fine. Fuck off. You should
Be
grow,
able to come
grow
up
up
to me.
here and come up to her.
don't.
But what I'm saying is like maybe it's just like this, the same way that like when we go out and maybe you think a guy is cute, you literally don't say anything because you're like, well, he's unapproachable because he should be coming.
he's very
He
hot.
should be coming, but also he's hot, but also like he would have looked at me. You know what I mean? Are you
Yeah.
looking at them? Are you like catching, are you trying to catch a vibe with them, or are you just like looking and like hoping that they'll just come? You know what I mean? Like I feel like people don't do the eye connection thing anymore.
I
like,
did see that, but see, It takes two, but I agree.
It takes
takes
two,
practice
but someone
as well.
needs to start it.
We gotta start practicing.
Someone needs to start.
I don't disagree. And I saw this one girl who my cousin sent me her page. Like, see, I'm getting to this level. Like, my cousin's sending me pages of like girls dating. And I'm just like, okay, we'll follow her, whatever. And she posted a video that was actually kind of helpful. I was like, okay, whatever. And she was in a coffee shop ordering whatever, and she noticed this guy was staring at her.
Yeah.
And she was just like, okay, like, whatever. And then she looked again, he was still staring. So then she was like, this is like my secret. Every single time I like wave and say hi. Like, just like not even like, not like hi, like he's across the room, just being like, hey. And then he's whatever. He eventually came up to her, or like right away, I don't remember, and they started talking. And that was like the end of the story. But like, it's just like the little things like that.
No, because it's like, it sounds like such a easy thing to do.
She wanted to throw up and die doing it.
But no one's fucking doing things like that. And I think that's a huge problem. How is someone else supposed to know that you're available and you can be approached?
And like that one man who just kept bumping into me the whole time at that bar.
Yeah.
I'm like,
literally,
we basically touched butts all night. Like, you just tap me on the shoulder and say hi.
You can at least tap me on the shoulder, not my ass. Thank you very much. With your ass
own
cheeks.
butt. Actually, his butt was above mine because he was taller.
And that's how we know height.
And that's how I measure height. No, you guys will be measuring height by like walking past objects
I'll
in
be
a
like,
restaurant. About here. Anyway, yeah, I think resting bitch face is real, but also just like the little things of just showing interest.
Yeah.
Whether it be eyes,
waving if you want to,
a little wave, or like hi.
I think eyes do a lot. Like,
yeah,
maybe don't be like creepy, but just kind of like or
No,
like the next time you catch eyes with each other, like smile instead of the wave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. What is happening with my mic? Do you see this? It's like sad. What were we just saying?
We were saying that guy not to touch my butt.
Yeah.
Not really, but
Well, anyway, like the approachable thing, I think, is a big piece of this whole conundrum. Like in person, anyway. Obviously,
yeah.
If we're going past like the dating apps, so like just Xnay doing that if you really want to.
Yeah, I mean, approachability on dating apps, I guess, like your profile.
Yeah.
You do with that what you will.
I think it's also like maybe everyone struggles with like getting rejected, and I think like there needs to be like a healthy
Well, remember the ring thing everyone was gonna do?
Yeah.
Hate it.
Hate that.
Hated it.
But I understand the need for it.
Yeah. Do you know how often like, if I see a cute man out in public, I'm like, should I take the ring off my ring finger? Like, are they gonna literally think this tiny little fucking stacker ring?
You know what? Maybe.
Which is so stupid to me.
It's very stupid, but maybe.
But do they even look? Do men?
Honestly, I don't think men care. They would fuck someone who has a husband. So, that's the reality.
I mean, that's true.
But maybe not a good guy.
Right, so
maybe take it off.
But like, I don't want 3 rings on one finger. It only fits my ring finger.
Yeah.
So,
I get that.
and like, I picked the least damning ring. It's almost not noticeable. Also, I'll just do this. Just cover my fucking hand.
The whole night? Just like looking like a fucking butler. Okay.
Anyway,
become approachable.
yeah. And once being
approached,
approached,
I'm not telling you to smile more. Also,
but like, kind of
maybe give a smile.
give a smile if you're interested. Not
Yeah.
saying like you're ugly or like what, you know what I mean. You guys know
what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But once you get approached and go on that date, I guess it's like another world of oh my god. It's like another world of problems.
Yeah.
Like, so I gave them a shot. Maybe there wasn't an initial spark. How many dates do we
Do we know?
Try?
Yeah, I mean, considering that that man is an idiot, but sorry.
Yeah.
We read a book, and it just reminds me of that, where like you should be giving people a shot like multiple times.
Yeah.
I agree to an extent.
I agree.
Listen,
as
babe,
well.
I think like past 3 dates, we're done.
Honestly, after 2, if it depends on what the issue is, I guess, like, is it that there's no spark? Sparks are kind of like this fictional made up thing. So like, no spark to me is like, okay.
But I also feel like after like 2 dates, you should know if like you enjoy being around someone.
Yeah. That's different to me, I guess. I don't know. I feel like spark, it's not fake, but just like,
but it's also not real.
It's like, it's just like how you respond to this person, which could sometimes be like irrelevant to you guys being together forever.
Right.
And obviously it could be important, whatever. So, like, for me, spark is, like, if it's there, obviously good. And if it's not, it's like, okay, let's give it, like, one more date.
Yeah.
If I like them. Like, if we even have anything in common. You know what I mean? If you have nothing in common, I think call it after the first date. What are we doing?
Just let it go. I also think, like, to your point of, like, if the, like, the spark situation, I just feel like I think, like, people could still be interested in somebody, but, like, not feel like there's, like, this, like
gravitation, unhealthy potential,
like an unhealthy like lust. I almost feel like then people confuse that for, like, oh, I don't think I like them.
Yeah.
But I also think, like, but then, like, what's a scenario that would give you that spark after not having it for the first 2 dates? Like, let's say you go on a third date, you really have enjoyed your time
seeing
with
them in a different element, maybe.
Like,
that's
so
the
then
issue.
Switch it up,
right? Don't be going on coffee dates every date if you don't think you're interested. Also, first date, don't be committing to, like, 8-hour days. No, I've done that many times.
That is insanity, in my opinion.
I've done that so many times, and it's a mistake every single one.
I think that there's, like, almost like a formula in a way.
Yes.
To dating. I haven't done this, but, like, in my brain it makes sense. Like, the first date should be a short, like, initial, like, meet and greet. You know?
Just like a hello.
Like a hello, how are you? Like, where are you at in your dating? Like, not in these words, but, like, where are you at in your dating life? Kind of like, are we, like, recently single? Like, that kind of vibe.
What are your intentions?
What are your intentions? Blah, blah, blah. Seeing an initial attraction, obviously, like, seeing if this person is somebody you enjoy being around, or, like how they treat staff.
Are their mannerisms annoying?
Yeah. And then we're like, okay, cool. You're passing the vibe check. Let's go to the second date. Second date, maybe something a little more intimate. Get into real conversations about, like, deep topics. If it didn't already happen for some reason on the first date. I mean, it probably maybe shouldn't because it's short. Mean,
first date
it's supposed to be short.
Even dinner, though. First date for me, if it's going well, it's like, we're talking about everything. Which is, like, great.
But like, it's also like, should we save some?
Oh, there'll be plenty. There'll be plenty for the rest of our lives. But, like, yeah.
But I'm saying. And then, so, like, the second date should be something different. Maybe even something like, I don't know. Maybe second date is still, like, more of a sit-down situation where you like talking to each other. Yeah. Third date, maybe do a fun activity. See them in another element.
Yeah, right. But that's the thing is, like, how many dates are you willing to go on with no, I guess, initial attraction, we'll call it. Because, like, maybe not maybe physical, but, like, maybe emotional, physical, whatever, connection isn't, like, quite there. I feel like after 3 dates, you should be like, okay, like, maybe we just vibe.
We're just friends. Yeah. On a friend vibe.
Friends.
And maybe you don't have to be friends, but, like, you just know that that's where it kind of stops.
Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah. You know what? I was just thinking, like, my formula might not be working to some people's, like, expectations, though, and maybe that's, like, the problem. Like, maybe you should. What do you mean? Like, I think some, like, we're all, like, even us, like, all in a group chat. If somebody's like, oh my God, they're taking me to, I just met this guy on Tinder or whatever. Okay. They're taking me to Zenespia. Right? Cute. We're like, oh my God, really great idea, like, right? But that's a full fucking commitment of, like, at least 5 hours.
Right.
It's like, what are we doing for the first date? But also, like, really cute, but I'm also like, should we not be doing that?
Yeah. I mean, it depends. How long were we chatting before? You know what I mean? Like, I also think, like, the chatting is, like, too long. It's just like, why are you chatting for so long on just via text? Like, just get to know whether or not you like this person, because by the time then you actually meet them and you're like, oh, I don't fucking vibe, you just wasted a whole fucking week and a half. You feel a little committed. You feel a little committed to their story. You're like, and wait, so did you get that job? Right. You stick around just to find out. It's like, no. Maybe keep it short, meet them, or at least FaceTime them. Get a vibe check. You don't have to do the coffee date. Just FaceTime vibe check. A FaceTime vibe check I kind of like more than coffee, because especially I feel like my dating pool is not in my current area. You're like, it's like already a big commitment to meet someone for fucking coffee. Right. I'm like, you might as well be buying me dinner. Like,
right. It's the same equation here.
Like, for me, I'm like, yeah. We could do a FaceTime.
FaceTime. It's a good one.
FaceTimes. I actually did that during COVID, and yeah.
It doesn't have to be like
that was interesting. Mechanical. It's actually really weird.
Well, that's a different time.
That was really weird.
It doesn't have to be, like, mechanical. You can just be like, hey, interested in like talking later? Like, can I FaceTime you?
That is so crazy to me. It's almost like a little intimate though.
Exactly, it should
Like,
be.
I'm
That's
seeing
what
you
a
in my
first
room.
date, though.
That's weird.
Well, you're not gonna be like, this is my room.
Maybe though. Maybe if it's awkward,
I mean,
you're
if
like
it's awkward.
you're like,
You're like, so here's like my collection of
puzzle pieces,
Sunny Angels.
Oh yeah. So
just like I think there needs to be like,
it's almost on the opposite end of having too high of standards. You
Yeah.
know, like instead of it. It's where we get caught up. It's like my standards are so high, so if you got through the threshold and we went on a date, I'm almost like, well, fuck.
there must be something.
There must be something here.
Yeah. But listen, there could be nothing.
There could be
And
nothing.
you need to find out.
And it's okay to decide that on the first date also. I feel like sometimes we do feel the pressure because we're like, well, my standards are so high, aka I want a guy with a job and is nice and smart and I'm attracted to him. Like, those are pretty baseline in my opinion. And I have to say, all of my friend group, our standards are in that world. I don't really think anyone's like, yeah, and he has to make 6 figures and whatever, if that makes the men out there feel a little bit better. But I
think the girls would take kind over
money.
6 figures.
Some. But like, not anyone I know. I mean, not personally anyway. But there are. Anyway, I forgot what I was getting at before we even diverted from the topic. But what was I saying? Oh, getting through the door.
Mm-hmm. You feel like you have to commit to like,
I feel like we are like, well, let me give him another shot, like a second date, even if we don't like them on the first date, because we're like, well, everyone's gonna think like, oh, I didn't like him after the first date, I'm so like judgment, or like whatever, you know, like she's gonna be single forever because she goes on one date with all these guys and always says, you know what I mean, like she's too picky, like you don't want to be given that trope. So you're like, well, then I'll give him a second date, and then if I still don't like him, but it's only like this like, you know what I mean, there's like these qualifying things.
I get it, but when have you done that?
Not me personally, girl.
I was gonna say.
Not me personally, girl.
I was like, that's not her
But also,
issue.
I'm not going on a lot of first dates.
Yeah.
Is also the problem. But also, how are people going on first dates all the time? I'm like, that's exhausting. Meeting new people is emotionally exhausting.
It is emotionally a lot.
So, like, and even if it's for, like, 35 minutes for coffee, it's still, like...
That's another thing, though. Like,
know?
if, like, you are in that consistent, like, doing that,
yeah,
you would know if somebody's, like, energy drains you or, like, makes you feel energized and excited.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, too.
Yeah.
But I'm also, like... Where are the men to go on first dates with? Like, do I have to go on apps? Is that really what it comes down to? Or move into a city where I literally am outside all the time? But then I'm like, how are these bitches from high school married?
Because they dated within this pool.
Oh, so I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
We're not gonna say that.
I don't think you want this
Me,
pool.
I'm like, we're not gonna go down that
I mean, it's not... No, we could say that. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Sometimes
It's
it works out.
I think, like, it's not a bad thing to date from where you're from, but, like, that's not everyone's vibe. Like, I think, like, it's just, like...
Yeah.
Some people are very comfortable with, like, where they came from and, like... Or they've had, like, connections from a really long time that, like, just end up working out. And that's not everyone's fucking story, which is why you have to get out of the same fucking dating pool that you've been in, you know?
Yeah. But then also comes the question of timing. I'm like, okay, so then...
No, you're not waiting on anyone from this pool.
Oh, no. No, that's not what
No,
I'm saying.
none of our friends are. Not to
No.
be shady, but, like, none of our friends are.
Not at all what I'm saying. I'm saying more like timing... How do I phrase this? Like, not that it's not my time to fall in love, but just, like, the circumstances aren't lined up yet. But also that could not be true. I could go on a vacation and fall in love with that person.
We can end up going to a brewery and it could be there. It's just like, I think
it just feels like when you're single, the expectation is like you need to change something really big to finally find someone, even though it might just not be your time. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Like,
I think
maybe it's
like
the next time
there.
I go to the bar, that is where my person, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the next 10 times.
I mean, haven't you heard like the good old story of like, do you go here a lot? Because I don't see you. Like, you know what I mean? Like that vibe.
Kind of fun. You see, I love a good little Cinderella trope type. Maybe not Cinderella, but
yeah. I think there's like a balance between that. Like,
yeah.
there. I think that if you're like literally doing the same fucking exact same thing, even with like apps, like if you're just constantly on them and hoping that this is like the only way that you find them, maybe change the circumstances, maybe change the situation a little bit. Like, I don't know.
You see, okay, real life example right now. Saturday night. I mean, I do have, okay, so we have like I have like a kid's birthday party in the day and then a basketball game for another child. And then I'm like, I'm going to be so tired. After last weekend, I was exhausted of like working and whatever. And then this weekend, I'm like, I want to do nothing Saturday. But then I'm like, this is like an open Saturday night to go meet someone. But I'm also like, but also if you're not in the mood, like that's not
then
when
you're not gonna yeah.
So yeah, that's fine.
But also like
convincing myself.
I think it's like that's also maybe like the perspective of like you're not gonna go out to like meet someone, but you're open.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then like you're going out because you want to go out.
Right.
Because you want to have a good time.
Instead of it being like the only reason I'm fucking here
is because maybe I'll meet somebody.
Yeah.
Then it's like also the pressure's like less. Like you're like for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be that every time, like, you take the advantage that every time you're out, you're like, oh, I'm open to, like, who's out here. But, like...
Yeah, but not see, there's, like, that feeling of, like, but I should go out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, that guilt of, like, taking time for yourself. Because you're like, well, I say I want a boyfriend. But here I am on a Saturday night inside.
You know what? But sometimes that Saturday night is needed, and it is what it is.
I agree. I do agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
Life is complicated.
Very complicated.
I mean, I feel like a lot of us also are guilty of being pessimistic, which I think there's a very fine line. I talked about this on my solo episode earlier this year. I think there's a fine line between expressing your... I can't think of the word. Disappointment in dating and what's out there, and then constantly like bashing the experience and what
or like potentials,
what could come for you or whatever. So there is like that fine line of like not feeling like you have to constantly be like positive, like toxic positivity towards dating and being like, oh my god, like yeah, he could totally be the one, because then also you just get in this mindset of like disappointment when they're not the one, and you're like constantly so excited about people. So I don't know, there is like that fine balance of not speaking things into existence for yourself, like, oh, I'm just never gonna fall in love, like they're not out there for me, or I don't know.
Unfortunately, we say all men suck. Like
all men suck. Like it is
hard, but
that one's hard. It's like a collective way of like letting each other know, like I see you, like,
right? Like
yes, but also
maybe instead
don't feel it.
There has to be a good one out there. There has to, you know. Maybe that's the vibe. I mean,
we do say that, to be fair, but I think the more powerful statement is definitely the one before it.
But it's becoming real true.
Yeah, just all the men I've met haven't been. Well, that's not even true. It's not even true.
Not even true.
You can't even lie like that.
Nope.
So yeah, I think just practice not being that person who's constantly talking down. But also it's okay if your friend is like, I feel so exhausted and I'm feeling like my person isn't out there. It's like, it's okay to express that, but I think deep down you just can't believe that and constantly repeat that. Like, if you feel like I just don't, like, I don't know what to do anymore or whatever, because I feel like we all get to that point, then that's okay. But just don't make that your story. Like, go out into the world and be like, you know what, but maybe they're out there today.
It's just like the openness.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds really fucking annoying to hear from me probably, but like I feel like literally
shut up.
after going through like a very horrific like relationship and then being single and dating and like just like having fun, I was like, you know what, but I think I'm like ready to meet my person. Like, yeah, I like said that to myself and very much like felt it, carried myself, and I'm like, I think I really want that. I think that's like I'm at that level of comfortableness with my experience in dating, and I think I really want to be like, because I think sometimes you think you want it and then like you're still dating or trying to date the same people that you've dated and you're kind of like, well, I'm not really making any changes here, so what's the problem, you know? But like I think when you're really real with yourself and like, are you actually like ready to commit to somebody, because it's a big deal.
Yeah. Like, do you actually want to be in a relationship with somebody, or do you want to like fill a void? And like I feel like it's very much an energy shift with yourself, and like I don't know,
It's probably annoying to hear, but I feel like it really does work. I think, like,
because on the other hand of that, I do agree, but on the other side of that, I feel like
that was my water bottle.
I was
so
like,
sorry.
What was to my right? Anyway, I feel like there are people who do feel that, but then are still single till they're like 40 years old, which like is fine, obviously. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like in the same way that not everyone gets married to their high school sweetheart. It's like just not everyone's timing, I guess, to whenever they think they're ready to like be ready, I guess, which is so annoying. Which, like, not saying you shouldn't still feel that way and portray that.
I mean, I think the way that I'm describing it maybe doesn't, like, do it justice. I just feel like I wasn't really attached to the outcome. I was just, like, I personally feel ready to be in a long-term committed relationship. And, like, I want to, like, I'm very open to finding the right person. I didn't say, like, in the next 3 months. Like,
no,
the expectation just isn't there. I get what you're saying. I don't know that I, like, know examples that were, like, that's it. Like, they said that and there was, like, a healthy, not expression, but, like, there was, like, there's healthy things alongside with it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Like actions taken?
Yeah. Like, I feel like some people say that, but then, like, they're fucking around with, like, the wrong people.
Exes,
or, like, even just, like, the same types of men or people.
Yeah.
And then you expect a different
See, but then I look at myself and I'm like, maybe at the beginning of me saying I'm ready or whatever, I wasn't like, maybe, I don't know, could be wrong, but like maybe I wasn't ready fully. But like, I would say for like at least a year, I've been like, okay, like, I want a long-term partner. Like, I want to be with my person. I'm ready.
I feel like, don't get offended. Okay. I feel like you haven't fully said that until more recently, like till the end of last year. I didn't actually hear it from you. It was more so like, I'm fine alone. I really enjoy being by myself. And that was the attitude more so. And like, I don't want to feel desperate was like the,
that's also a big part.
But like, in saying that you're ready doesn't mean you're desperate, or like you wanting something doesn't mean you're desperate. And I think that that's like the difference too. Like, I feel like there's just like an energy towards all of it. Like, if you have if you can't fully believe what you're saying, then like, it doesn't feel real.
So like, in theory, if your theory's right, and I do genuinely feel that I said it out loud, and I've said it out loud, like, it should like happen soon.
actions, emotions, and feelings towards it, like, all have to be aligned.
Which I feel like mine are. Yeah. But I just...
Well, maybe.
I'm just like... Again, I'm not attached to it happening soon, because number one, the dating world is just like there hasn't been prospects. So like, for me, I'm like, realistically, someone has to come into my life before I can do that. Or I have to do things, and like, there are things I'm doing. I'm like, it could be any of these things. Like, literally every flight I've taken for the past probably like 2 years, I'm literally like, maybe I'm gonna meet the love of my life. I've said that so many times on so many things I've done. Period. And so I'm like, okay.
And that's fucking fantastic.
We'll see.
I think, like, I feel like the pessimism really, like, deters people from, like, because, like, I don't think people can even see past it. You know what I mean?
Like,
when you feel pessimistic about the whole situation, then I feel like all you can feel and see is that even though you really want to push through it, like, you want what's on the other side, but like, if you're just living in this like realm of like doomsday, then like
I feel like it's just so hard because we don't know anyone's like end game. Like, sometimes you just want to play God and be like, okay, so what? Like, is it like 40 years old?
Like, just tell me.
33 years old? Like, should I try the dating apps more? Like, tell me what to do, you know? Because it's like, should I do something different? Should I not do something different? Should I go out on Saturdays? Should I go out on weekdays?
Did I miss it out because of Saturday?
Literally.
Like, I stayed in.
And it's like, you'll never know. That is so irritating.
It's
So that's why it's like,
it's fucking crazy.
Like, I'm gonna hold on to faith and keep putting it out there, but it's like,
I guess that's the thing, like, don't lose faith.
Seeing all my girls down is like, it's really not the vibe.
Yeah.
All my girls but one. All my girls but one are down, and you know what? We're winning.
We're still winning.
We're all up.
One of us, I pull them all up. Yeah.
So, alas.
Dating is rough. Continue to play Cupid.
Yeah. I'd say if you're in a relationship, try and play Cupid for your friends, because, like
how else are we supposed to do it?
Literally, it's just try.
Yeah. I think, like, that's the new wave. Like, we're pushing our friends to get out of the apps and just meet whoever we know.
Literally whoever you know that could potentially be just interesting.
Because, listen, what if, like, you threw a party, right? And then this person that you wanted them to connect with didn't come, or they came, but they brought someone else, and maybe the other person they brought is way better.
Right. And that's exactly how we would meet people back in the day.
And you know what? Let's continue that movement.
So just keep pushing for that energy. Don't get so, like, also discouraged if that happens to you and they didn't come, like me, and, like, it's fine, they weren't my person. Exactly. That's my mentality. I'm like, if they didn't show up or we didn't connect, you weren't my person.
Period.
Like, I'm not gonna put that, but then people on the other side like, put some effort in.
You driving to fucking Costa Mesa?
No, literally.
No,
like, girl,
it depends on the situation. Okay,
it's very situational.
Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up because we're getting long here. Up. Thank you for sticking to this episode. If you've listened this far, yes. We appreciate you. If you haven't already, giving us a rating or a review on our podcast pages, either on Apple or Spotify, please go ahead and do that. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, as we like to say. What else? And if you want to follow us a little bit further,
oh my god,
our socials.
Wait, we didn't do the things. Wait, we had like a couple things.
Period.
We had a couple things to share. We asked you guys, what is the pettiest reason you've rejected someone? And you know what? We got some good ones here. Let's just go in order. Arms were too long, so when we held hands, he had to hold his arm up all weird. So,
so like
this.
Yeah. That's
her
kind
arm
of annoying.
was too... No, his arm was too long.
So, like...
Yeah, that's... I mean, just bend the elbow, bro.
Listen, like, but that's probably weird.
I guess, yeah. So compatibility physically.
Physically. Just... But that's what I picture with, like, these 5'3".
Can you imagine me holding their hand? They'd be like this.
Literally.
That's what they want.
That's fine.
Didn't like their shoes. That's real.
That's real.
I mean, it depends, but I could see that.
Oh, I can just, like, picture all of the shoes that I would say no to.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
Let's list a couple.
Like, the Chelsea boot.
The Chelsea boot is a widely hated one in our friend group.
Absolutely fucking not. If they have multiple pairs, fuck it.
But that is something you could look past. It is. See, for me...
See, okay.
That's where it's like standards, right?
We're negotiating.
The shoes aren't attached to them forever.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to tell you, are you open to not wearing those ever again?
Right.
And that's me being flexible. Oh, that's so fucking funny. Okay. Their car was filthy. Right. Yeah. That's almost non-negotiable. What are we doing here?
You know what?
Unless we were 17 years old.
I'm a very messy girl in my car.
But if you were to take someone out on a date that you'd never met, you would clean it. Exactly. That's different.
Sam over here, though, going to Trader Joe's, girl, just watch my trash really quick.
Yeah, no, it's not that deep. They had the same name as my dad. Yeah,
that's a straight no.
That's
really... Even, like, for me, like, brother, absolutely fucking not.
My stomach's growling. Sorry if you heard that. No, actually, we've gotten close to my dad's name, and it didn't weird me out because it was too far.
It was close, but too far.
It was, like, really far away. But...
Yeah, no, it's a no.
Yeah, it's a no.
I agree.
You guys understand. Their jeans were ugly. That's a big one.
Oh, I can't. If a man in skinny jeans or like with rips.
The rips or the ribbed.
The ribbed.
If you are a man wearing ribbed jeans.
You know what? The rips, I'll give it to you. If they're like fly.
If they're cool, like baggy
pants.
We're good.
Skinny
and rip, we're done.
Can you look past that one?
Probably not, because it's giving that's who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Which maybe some people feel that way about the boot, but...
You know, it's hard.
People hated on Rob for the overalls.
Yeah, I don't hate on that.
I don't hate it either. Okay. They posted a car pic. You know the type of car pic. Yeah, also, it's giving that type of person. Like, not my person.
That's like going in the realm of aesthetics again.
Yeah.
But, like, it's just like car men don't really have... great personalities.
What you're looking for.
You know, no, I'm being real. So you're attached.
I mean,
to something
it depends. Like
no.
vintage cars, different. See, you know, like some girls are into
You've got something about like investment in you.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
Money. We're talking financials,
but also just like you
also
can,
history.
You can see the long term like progression of something. Like you really can commit.
Like you and me.
You can commit.
I do. Yeah, if it was a vintage car and he wasn't posing, you know, it's specific.
Race cars.
Yeah, you guys know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Literally, like, everyone I know's man posts car pics. Didn't know the difference between there and they are.
Okay, Serena.
That's like pretty.
No, because that's like.
Yeah. Like, what do we? Why
like
aren't we grammatically?
We're 28. You're dumb.
Yeah. Oh, because I knew they were a flirt in everyone else's DMs. That's tea.
That is tea, and
that's a good one. I feel like the girls have gotten the ick real quick from that. Quick. Like, you'll come to a group chat all excited, like, oh my god, look who messaged me, and they'll be like, oh, girl, yeah, like he be hitting my DM too, like, for years.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Not cute. I did not like their eye color.
Oh, that's pretty petty.
That's pretty petty. But, like, I wonder, there's something deeper there. Like, is it your dad's eye color?
Like, maybe, like, if, like, they had, like, oh my god, his eyes
Beady.
remind me of that too. No, because, oh, I can't say that. Never mind.
Okay.
I'll tell you later.
Okay, something with eye color. I could see that. Me personally, I think I like all colors.
Yeah, I like all the colors.
I mean, like, I've never seen anything too crazy. I would love, like, you know what's cool? What's that disorder?
Oh, where they have, like,
the green and brown or whatever?
The green and blue or whatever. Like, I forgot what it's
sick.
called. That's cool. My brother dated someone who had.
Sick.
Oh, that shit was so cool.
You're like, you have powers, don't you?
Are you rich?
They wore Chelsea boots. Enough said. He was too short. And then they put the, like, emoji. Honestly, that's fair.
You know, fair tea.
You know, like,
There's a short queen out there for him. Yeah, like, it's fine.
That one I get.
It's not even petty. That one's not petty.
Yeah.
I think it's petty, though. Like,
if they're short?
If like, the girl's short and he was, like, 6 foot and not, like, 6'2", and she's like, his height wasn't there. I'm like, what are we doing?
It kind of killed. So, apparently, I think this is, like, actually fact, is that 5'8" is tall for a woman. To me, I'm like, okay, like, yeah, you're tall.
Yes, I am tall.
I know you are tall. You are tall. It's just, like, hard for me to accept. But, like, if a 5'8" girl wouldn't date a 6 foot guy, because, like, I just think about numbers. I just think about numbers, and I'm like, 4 inches. I'm asking for 6'4".
Yeah.
And I'm not even saying that's the hard, like, rule, because I know 6'4" isn't, like, easy to come by. I'll go 6'3", fine.
6'2"?
Maybe. Like, I'm open. I genuinely am. See, like, my height isn't even like, 6'5", nothing else. Whatever. God, I hope you're out there, husband. Like, be 6'11" or something so I can just fucking stunt on these fucking bitches. Anyways. 4 inches is what I'm asking for, technically. So if you're 5'8",
that's good
6
numbers
foot,
right there.
Bitch. Like,
stop
telling me that I should be dating someone 6 foot when I am 6 fucking feet tall.
No, because, I mean, even when I was dating, I would not date someone who was 5'9".
5'11" was rough, even.
5'11", fine.
Okay.
5'9" as a man, I think that was like a straight no for me.
Yeah.
So,
you know, I talked to a lot of 5'11" dudes, and that's disappointing.
Yeah.
Like, why did we let that happen? And it's because, oh my god, your standards are too high. It got to me. And because, I mean, I was open. I was like, you know what? Maybe my person is 5'11", and we're done with that chapter, okay?
I'm saying there was, like, a lot of other...
I mean, there was a lot of other wrong things with that person.
No, but also, like, a lot of other things that, like, maybe, like, not, like swept
under the rug?
Swept you up.
Swept me up. Right. Anyway. So, yeah.
So that's where we're at.
I think our standards are not too high as a whole.
No.
But check yourself. Check your friends. Be kind. And just keep moving with positivity, I think, overall, is the vibe.
Yeah. Period.
But, yeah. We already gave you the outro. Sorry about that.
We'll catch you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.